Welcome to the ITM Podcast.
This is episode 208 of the ITM Podcast, the official Boston Red Sox podcast of the CLNS Media Network, brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network, and by Game Time, the best place to buy tickets online to sports, concerts, all your favorite events, and the Red Sox lose a series to the dog shit St. Louis Cardinals in 3 real nail biters. How you doing, Scott?
I'm not in great shape right now. If you heard the last episode, we had a hot dog suit related event yesterday, and my voice is a little shot. Good time, great time.
We're recording
Taking
this at
some-
9 p.m.,
Yeah,
which means
I
you've
mean-
had 24 hours since this event, no?
when you lose your voice, does it come back in less than 24 hours?
I don't really lose my voice. My voice is my moneymaker. Everyone knows they sign up for the sweet, sultry velvet that is ITM. They know what they're getting.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the burden falls on me to maintain this buttery baritone that people have come to love.
Well, I mean, as you know, this is my rookie year as a
Mhm.
podcaster. The ups and downs of a podcasting season. I've said many times how hard it is to be a blogger and podcaster, and I'm starting to feel that. Right, it's a long season. I've said that, Joey. I feel like kind of like Yoshida in his first year stateside. It was like, it's going to take some time. Maybe in year 2, you'll have better preparation. You'll be able to, once I get my off-season work in for year 2, I don't think this stuff's going to happen. But right now,
Right.
I just haven't been doing. I know you're using honey and teas and stuff to keep your voice going at all times, but I don't have the regimen yet, of course.
I don't know if Yoshida is the greatest example. I don't know if you've been paying all too much attention to the Red Sox this year. Second year Yoshida didn't really change anything, move many needles, make things better, kind of fall into the groove. What you're talking about, like the ideal, like, he's going to do it. That was your season prediction. Yes. I wouldn't say it's
I
what
don't need to bring
has.
that up.
It's not what's happened. No,
No,
instead they said you're
I
not
mean-
playing, and then he tried to play and he got hurt, and now he's not playing at all.
I was referring to the process, Joey. First of all,
Mhm. Process don't work.
well, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens for my year 2. I bet it's going to be better than it is. But
You know what wasn't
rookie years,
good or better?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
This season, this series, the season 2, but this series in particular, bad. They played a bad team, and they played a bad series. Bad games, bad team. They're not a good team. This show would have gone quite a bit differently had they gotten swept. I'll say that. There's enough positives to pull out of this that I don't feel like jumping off of a bridge, but they did lose a series to the St. Louis Cardinals, who we spent maybe 30 minutes on the last episode, probably our longest series preview that we've done this year, just to take the proper amount of time to illustrate what a dog shit team the St. Louis Cardinals are. And they lost a pair of games. They lost more games than they won in this series. And I was pretty prepared for them to get swept. I predicted that they were going to sweep.
Yeah.
Almost spun it on its head.
No, okay. This is what I'll say about that with the Cardinals. As somebody that runs a Cardinals site in my other many lives and talks about them or writes about them daily or, stays involved, knowing how bad they've played and how they are just as frustrated, like their fans are just as frustrated as ours.
Mm-hmm.
Their record was even worse. Still is technically at this point now. That's pretty close. But just they were terrible. They were so bad. Paul Goldschmidt could not get a hit until he faced the Boston Red Sox. There were so many things going wrong. Everyone was talking about Nolan Gorman. Oh, he doesn't have any pop this year. It's kind of weird. He's supposed to be a power hitter. Oh, found it. We found it, didn't we? We found it, Joey. Oh, Goldschmidt? Yeah, he found his swing too. Nolan Arenado, he hasn't been the same Nolan Arenado. Yeah, he was. He's back. He's fine. Everything's good. Lars Nootbaar, he's been just starting to pick it up a little bit, but no power. Oh, found that power. Mason Wynn hadn't hit a home run yet. Well, there it is. Got one. It was unbelievable. And then the pitching, I mean, that was pretty much as advertised. But man, that was just brutal. You've been I have to deal with the negatives of the Cardinals being bad on a daily basis for the last 2 seasons, except for the 2 series they've played since I took over. And the Cardinals just played like the Dodgers for all 6 of those games, 5, 5 of the 6 games, and just kicked the shit out of the Red Sox.
Nolan Arenado, 6 hits in this series. You would have to go back 12 games to put together his prior 6 hits.
Yeah.
That is funny. That is funny. Yeah. I mean, the Red Sox might have single-handedly saved a couple of seasons. Gorman, Arenado, kind of the main ones. Nootbaar, too. I mean, Lars Nootbaar doing anything just should give you a perspective on where you're at. I understand he's like a fan favorite to some extent. Is he still?
Mhm.
Are we over that, or are we still on the Nootbaar thing?
Yes, just because with him, it was, little injuries and stuff like that have limited him in the last few years. So he's one of those guys, kind of like Whitlock, where they still kind of feel like we don't know enough about him. Like we don't know if there's another level. Kind of like a lot like Benintendi, where every year you just expected another level, and we're still early enough where he absolutely could hit that, which is why it feels fair. But yeah, there is still like he's lovable and he's good, but they think he might be an all-star potentially. He worked with Arenado all off season to like change his swing. He's absolutely boys with Arenado and like his brother. They like hang out all the time. I think his brother is like his hitting coach or something. Like Arenado's brother is New Bars. Either a hitting coach, like officially, or they just work together on it a lot. I don't know if he gave him the tag, but yeah, it's very interesting.
I feel like that would be a weird move to take Arenado's brother to be your hitting coach when like Nolan Arenado's right there. You know what I mean? And he's your teammate.
In
So
the
like,
process. I would assume it's more probably like he's the guy throwing the BP and stuff, and him and
yeah,
Arenado, Nolan Arenado are like working out, and then the other guy's the one just not working out, and more like while they're both hitting, just being like, hey, drop your back. What am I looking for here? Back your arm dropped or
shoulder.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's what either one would
shoulder. It's
work.
called the shoulder. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, wait, this part.
that part. That part right there. Yeah.
All
No,
right.
it's your shoulder. I
Just
did some
making
hitting
sure. Okay.
myself, so I know all about these kind of terminology. Shoulder. They use the word shoulder for the ball and socket joint at the top of the arm. For those who are not watching on YouTube, go subscribe on YouTube, and you can see exactly what we're talking about. Where this thing is. There's a song I learned recently, taught me all about the shoulder, and also the head, the knees, and the toes, and exactly where they are, how to find them,
Mm-hmm.
and also a couple of features of the face: ears, eyes, mouth, and nose. I didn't realize what a big injury Contreras was to them. I mean, I get it, but like I didn't understand
Oh,
just like how big of an impact
by
that is. Also, I think they
far.
replayed the injury like 7 times during the course of the season.
It
They were like, "Do you want to see a guy get his arm fucking snapped in
it was
half? Look
pretty
at this."
gruesome for like a replay too. Like there's a side angle that's like bad. It's not good at all. I mean, he
Yeah.
broke his arm with it was an unobstructed full swing in a major league game. Like
Oh,
that
JD
is,
Martinez,
yeah, yeah,
a
and
guy who
and
knows
yeah,
how to
but
swing a
yes,
bat.
Wilson Contreras was by far their most productive player this year, and like it wasn't close. It
That's
was
brutal.
Contreras was the only one that was playing above average on the entire offense, like position player group. Arenado was like goodish, and then everyone else was like below league average. And then they lost one of and then Contreras goes down. But good news because Ivan Herrera's on like a 100-game hitting streak.
I
We didn't even have
don't
to
know if
face Sonny
embarrassed is the right
Gray.
word. I'm upset at the reality that they had a tough time hanging with a bad team because we had the conversation last episode. I'm pretty sure that's like, okay, this is what they're going to be. Like they can hang with good team, or they can beat bad teams. They can hang with bad teams. Even in the Rays series, They hung with the Rays. And it's like, that's not saying all too much because the Rays aren't good, but they're not bad. So, like, they're hanging with the middle of the pack teams. That's okay. To get just like stomped, 10-6, to get stomped 7-2 by a team that is, give me an adjective, Scott, a bad one.
Uh, like an adjective? God, on the
Yeah.
spot. Yeah, usually bad.
Bad. To get stomped like
Yeah.
that by a team that's bad. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good word.
Yeah,
A
you're
team that's
welcome.
bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if embarrassing is too far, but it feels deflating to be like, God, man. I thought like you could at least do this. Like, I've moved the bar for you. I've moved the bar all the way to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. Everything else, I'll take what it is. But I mean, I predicted a sweep, and I think I really believed that when I said it. And I think they probably should have, dude. They probably should have. They were favored in all 3 games. Like they really should have. That it was. It's tough to see that that's the spot that they're in, and that it's a changing um, center of
On
blame.
fire
You
today.
know
We're on
a
fire
what?
right now. We're on fire right now.
Yeah, you feeling it? You feeling the heat over
No,
there?
I mean, like, you asked for an adjective. I give you bad after like 30 seconds. Whatever you were about to say, you were like, we're on, you did this. You literally did this. You're
Motherfucking,
like,
I
what's that?
snapped. I snapped. Yeah.
Yeah, you were like, what is that? You know?
I mean, that's on me for leaving it up to thinking. I'll write notes sometimes, and then sometimes I'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, you know what? Like, I think I got this part nailed to memory. I know what I want to say. No, I
I
don't.
had a
Why
fire
am I
note.
leaving it up to thinking? I don't want to think on the spot.
I had an unbelievable note. That was, I don't even know when it was from, but it was for
Hmm.
this episode.
I would
And
love to hear it.
I just wrote so frustrating. And I don't
Nice.
know when that happened. I don't know any details, but fast. Am I right? I mean, yeah,
Mm,
definitely was. If you
I
disagree
went.
with me, I dare you.
I really can't. I went to tweet after game 2, like that one pissed me off. And I looked on, just looked at my Twitter real quick. And 2 days prior, about the Rays game, I had tweeted, that's a really frustrating one. And I was like, I can't just keep tweeting that. I can't just not
Yeah.
tweet during a game again and then at the end be like pissed off again. I mean, maybe I can. I guess I can. It's my Twitter. There's no rules. But I was like, I can't have my dialogue with the Red Sox become the game ending and me going, fuck that. That pissed me off. But that's like the most honest commentary I can give right now is they're really good at pissing me off. They're frustrating.
I mean, like I said, the Cardinals being a historically good franchise that absolutely suck since I took over on opening day of last year is so frustrating on a daily basis. And then just an extra FU that the only time they are ever good in a 162 game season is when they play the Boston Red Sox. Didn't even have Sonny Gray going in this one. Like he wasn't even.
Hmm.
We missed Gray. He's their only good player, and still lost 2 out of 3. All 3 were like very winnable games. I felt
Hmm.
like there was a lot. Like game 2 was just like a slugfest. That was awesome. We said we lost.
Can I
Silly.
throw a few positives out there?
Sure.
I like home runs, so we got to see a lot of those. How about that?
Yeah.
The weather at Busch Stadium looked pretty nice. I heard
Yeah.
it was a little
Oh,
humid, but
yeah.
it looked pretty nice. Like the sky looked really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Busch Stadium is like cool. It was kind of
Oh,
empty at times, but
did you hear when I thought this was really funny with the Roku game, which I know you're gonna get to. We're
oh
not
my
gonna
god.
we can do it whenever, but this isn't that.
Yep,
Um, with what was it Chip Carey? Is that his name?
sure.
All right. You could Middlebrooks was like, man, they're really bouncing off that wall. Like they need to cover that up. Like I wonder if they've ever thought about padding. And like obviously that's like a historic brick backdrop that will never change. And the announcer was basically like, "That's dumb as shit. That's stupid." No, and he was like, "Yeah, I guess you can't do that." But you heard him just be like, "That was the worst idea I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, he was just trying
What did
not
he
to be
actually
like,
say? I don't remember that. What did he actually say?
he just talked about how, like, it's super recognizable with Busch Stadium and, like, they're not gonna.
It's like, yeah,
It'd be
that's
like
actually
somebody
a
being like,
fucking
they gotta get rid
monument
of that.
here.
It's like the Wrigley being like, let's get rid of that ivy. It's like they can't do that. Or that wall seems way too big in left field of Fenway. Like he said the brick thing, which is like all of Busch, like the whole outline, and that's like their whole thing. And
Mhm.
the guy was just like, well, it's pretty historic. I don't think they're gonna do that. And Will was like, yeah, I guess they can't. Like, but you could
Yeah,
tell he's just
yeah,
like,
right. No, I was kidding when
yeah.
I said it. Weird to see. Okay, before I get to the finer details, let's just the overarching statement. What the fuck is a Roku exclusive? And why did I not hear about it until the day of the game? I learned about this. I hate to say this cretin's name. I I think it's cretin. Doesn't matter. I learned about this game from a Boston Strong tweet where he tweeted, you'll never guess this. He probably Googled him and searched Roku. And then he tweeted that because the picture gets more engagement on Twitter, right? So he tweeted that picture and he said, today's
Mhm.
Red Sox Cardinals game will be a Roku exclusive. To which I said, haha, that's kind of funny. Yeah, all right, I'll give Boston Strong his props. That's kind of funny because yeah, it is kind of getting hard to watch games. Who knows? One of these days we're gonna have a Roku exclusive. Let's see the replies to this. Which kind of idiots are buying this? And there's a bunch of people that were like, "This is fucking crazy. I can't believe this. I just saw the Sox tweet about it." And I was like, "The Sox? Why would the Sox tweet about it?" And I went and looked, and sure enough, watch Roku. Did you or did anybody know that this was a Roku exclusive, or did something happen leading up to that? Scott, please tell me. I know you have all the answers.
Yeah, actually, I kind of have a little bit. So I did know about it going into today. The deal for this got done like midweek, and I believe it was supposed to be one of those like Apple that like this is like replacing the Apple stuff basically.
So is Apple not
Yeah.
doesn't have any games this year?
I don't know, but like they were basically like I think it was supposed to be like an Apple type of thing, and then they were just like, it's Roku now, and I knew it was Roku, and I knew that anyone could watch for free on their website.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't like, what was infuriating though, is that I had a I had to sit in my living room and watch it
Yep.
on my laptop with an 86-inch TV in the background, just being like,
There it
this
is.
is so
Wait,
dumb
I'm
that
sorry,
this is
Scott. I don't know if
required.
everyone heard. How big is your TV?
86 inches is
Okay,
massive.
so
It's
what you're
like,
saying is you parked your Tesla in the driveway
yeah,
and you walked in to sit in your home in front of your
yeah,
86-inch television, and you had to watch it
yeah.
on your MacBook Pro instead.
No, it's a Microsoft service. Don't,
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
yeah.
Go on.
Stop bullshitting, will you? And I can tell you, my dad didn't know. He texted me and said, um, where he said, I can't get this game, and I said no, because
No,
he's
you
not gonna
can't. Yeah.
watch it on a laptop. Like he's not gonna do that. So it's like on TV, no, you cannot if you don't have a Roku device. Which who does? I did in
So,
college, but
yeah, I mean that's what a Roku TV is. A Roku TV is like what sits on
that's a
like
dorm
your
TV.
exactly. It's a dorm room desk TV that's like 32 inches max. And
Mhm.
you tell every friend that you bring back there, like, I actually got a really good dude. It was like $50. And they're like, seriously?
Yeah,
Oh
it
god,
was. They
I gotta
gave
get
me a
one of those.
dollar, and it's 32 inches. Not bad. And me and Mott's there used to put two right next to each other, and then
Nice.
we would just like play Xbox and just
I was gonna say
separately.
you game on one, you stream the game on the other one. That's kind of the move. Um,
Oh,
but
yeah,
so
okay.
I also don't have a Roku TV. So I was like, okay, my
You're right.
television doesn't
You
have
shouldn't.
the app because I don't because I'm
You're an
you,
adult.
I'm an adult. I grew up. I bought an LG.
You're
Okay,
like way over the adult line. You're super old.
okay, easy now. I'm in my 20s. I'm in my mid 20s still, and
You're not in your mid 20s.
well, there's just no way to
Are you
prove that.
27 or older? Because if not, you're not in your mid 20s. You get 24, 25, 26. That's mid 20s, right in the middle.
I would say there's like a bigger range. Like a lot of things are
No.
like. Would you say we're in the middle
Early,
of the show right now? If someone
no,
called you right now, you would pick up and be like, "I can't talk. I'm in the middle of a show, and we're 20 minutes into a 3-hour episode."
First of all, that's not true. We're not going close to 3 hours. I asked you last episode, do you
Yeah.
consider mid-20s 21 to 29?
I
And
don't like to
you
put
and
hard
you
numbers on
said
things. I'm
no.
not a numbers guy. I'm more of like a vibe guy.
Would you
A
have put a hard
feel.
number on it when you were 25?
God, when I was 25, dude, like what, like last week?
No, it was years ago, well before we met.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know
It
if
is
that's
true.
true. I'm not good. I'm not great with math. Oh man, that would have been
Well,
2020.
we met
Oh
we
God.
met at the end of 2022, and you still weren't even close to 25 at that point. So
Sunrise,
and that was a
sunset.
while ago.
It wasn't that long ago. What
Yeah.
were we talking about?
What?
I
When
put
we
I
met.
got they didn't have it on my TV. They didn't have the app on my TV, right?
A Roku.
Because I don't have a Roku TV. And then so I was like, "Oh, I'll go to my PlayStation. Like I'll just download the Roku app on my
Mm.
PS5." No mean to brag. I pull it up and no Roku app. They don't have the Roku app because why the fuck would they have the
No
Roku
one
app?
does.
And so I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, you know what? I have cable because I'm fucking a million years old." And I was like, "All right,
Mm.
I'll go to Xfinity and I'll like open the Roku app there." And Xfinity's like, we don't have that. We got nothing for you.
The hell
So I
is
was
a
like,
Roku? They said.
yeah, Xfinity was like, that's copyright infringement to say that word to us. I think that's
What are you
like stomping on
talking
our whole
about?
business model.
What could you
And
be watching on Roku? Do they even
yeah,
have
like
things?
no, it has other apps. They don't have what do they have their own
That's the
channel?
thing.
Yes, they
Like
do apparently.
in college, we had to like just plug into the cable wall, and we just had whatever Merrimack had. Like we didn't get anything from Roku. It was just like the screen you started on to click either TV or Xbox. Like that's all that did for us.
That's what it is. I mean, they're a television company, are they not? Are they
To
what?
go
What
into like
is Roku?
streaming, I don't know, but it felt like a big jump. Just to, like I feel like you would go to like original content or something before you would just be like, we're gonna stream professional sports right now.
Dude, okay,
They
wait.
thought of this idea on Monday, and they were like, let's just do it Sunday, see what happens.
They didn't have a broadcast, right? Were those Roku cameramen at the ballpark?
Yeah, you're asking great questions, but the Roku deal was like completed like last week, like mid last week. Like I want to say it was like Tuesday to Thursday. I typed in Roku deal as if that was gonna pop up correctly.
Yeah, good job. Well, I will say, as you're doing that, I do remember Roku before, like Roku TVs. Roku were the physical devices that you would buy to plug in. It's like an Amazon Fire Stick. It
Yeah,
was
yeah, 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 yeah.
so it was like something that made your dumb TV into a smart TV. But those
So
only
Monday.
existed for like 5 years because then every TV became a smart TV. But they were like an external make your TV smart device. That's what Roku is at its core. It like conglomerates all of the apps. That's all it does.
They agreed to it on Monday. By the way,
Monday.
that was
It's
my understanding as well.
okay, it's
Um,
Sunday as we're recording this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, if it makes you feel better, it's an exclusive multi-year deal.
Multi-year deal. Did they have
Hmm.
any um
One game
broadcast
every
what's the word I'm looking
Sunday.
like asset? Did they have anything, any like
Not to my
broadcast
knowledge.
assets?
I've never heard. I tell you what, I've never needed to go to the RokuChannel.com until May 19th, 2024.
Well, I'll tell you this: it was free on MLB TV, uh, on like the MLB app. It was there,
My
and it did
my
not black out. I'm in Boston. It did not black me out.
That's weird because my 86-inch TV doesn't have MLB TV for some reason. It has like this problem with it every time I try and use it. But yeah, so I was sitting there just. Oh, it replaces Peacock, not Apple.
Okay. That
Which
makes
was
sense. Yeah,
also
because
something that should have
Apple
existed.
Apple has the Friday night game, and now there's going to be a weekly
Every
Sunday day
Sunday, one
game
o'clock. Yeah,
on Roku channel
of course.
t-
Yeah.
dot .tv.com.
I believe we are done with the Roku this season. I'm looking at the schedule
There's
right
just no
now,
way to know
unless I'm
that.
just
There's just no way.
no, they announced it, so yeah, there is a way. But St. Louis has another one, June
Nice. That's going to
16th.
be good.
Yeah, against the Cubs, big rivalry. The Yankees, I thought were next time, but
Middlebrooks just blends right in, huh? He doesn't sound like a Boston guy. He just sounds like a guy.
yeah, no, that's not true.
No.
You don't think he was being like, I don't know, to me I feel like there was a lot of hey, my ring when we won.
Well, sure. He's always gonna be like, remember I played. Sure, that's kind of the
Yeah.
whole Middlebrooks thing. But like, I more mean like his voice. Like there was some
yeah, it's not like
replay, and
ours.
yeah, like I don't know. Just there was a point in the middle of the game where I was like, oh right, that's Middlebrooks. Like it just doesn't sound like.
I do agree with what you're saying in the sense of I thought you meant like more like what he was talking about, but it's not
Yeah,
like
no.
do you remember when like Eckersley used to do like national games in the playoffs? That was I was like,
Mhm.
what the hell? That's the wrong channel.
Right. It's like that's my guy. That shouldn't be there. Even OB. When
Yeah,
I hear OB doing like a basketball game, like that's our guy. Why are you
yeah.
doing
I wish
that?
he
Not that.
wasn't, but yeah,
Yeah, it's like unfortunately that's our guy.
yeah.
Like stop using him for other stuff. But Middlebrooks, it was just like, oh right, yeah, this is not just a national random talking head. This is
hmm
it's our guy, Will Mids,
hmm
Willie Mids, Billy Mids.
He calls himself. I think he called himself Brooksy to Tyler O'Neill, which was something I was like, I don't think anyone calls him that.
Yo, I want to talk about Tyler O'Neill being mic'd up, but first we got to talk to our good friends over at Prize Picks.
Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 3 million members. It is the easiest and most exciting way to get on the action while you watch your favorite sports and players. You just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats and watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks is so easy to play. I can make my Celtic picks and make my entry in less than 60 seconds. Quick withdrawals and easy gameplay and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes Prize Picks the #1 fantasy sports app. Celtics and NBA fans, you can get in on Prize Picks in 30 states across the country, including California, Texas, and Georgia. On Prize Picks this week, I'm selecting Jason Tatum to dish out more than 5 assists and his teammate Jaylen Brown to have more than 22.5 points. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Prize Picks.
All right, I'm glad you brought up Tyler O'Neill being mic'd up and all that. I did want to talk about that right now. How did you feel about overall? I want your thoughts first because I got quite a few, obviously, because these are the things that matter to me.
Just the mic'd up with our boy Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah. Well, the mic'd up stuff first. I mean, I guess there's other
Okay,
stuff to talk about with this series, him returning, all that.
So I think it was really cool that they talked to him and then he just like hit a home run, and it was like you were just like calling him and being like, hey, what's going on, man? You're up? Okay. I thought it was really cool the way he like ripped off everything aggressively and just threw it on the grass, it looked like the mic and
Mhm.
everything. And I couldn't stop getting annoyed when he kept calling Terrell Owens T.O. I don't know if that's a name in the clubhouse. I could be wrong. Maybe everybody calls Middlebrooks Brooksy and Terrell. I was gonna say Terrell Owens because
You
that's
did.
T.O. Tyler O'Neill. I don't know. Never heard that before. So that was like I kept just being like, who is saying that? Is he? And it's very possible they all call him that. I have no idea. But that was just weird for me to hear. Couldn't get
Yeah, I
over
mean,
that.
he seems like he would be an initial guy, but like you
Yeah.
even said Terrell Owens the first time you said it because that's who
Right.
T.O. is. That those initials are straight up taken. Like the only exception being like MJ, you could be talking about Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan. That's the only one that you can really double up on. But
Yeah.
like initials, they go to a guy. They go to a guy, and you can't just you can't just take it. Did you think that they were going to keep him mic'd up during the at bat? Because I did.
Yeah. I think it's Because otherwise, it's like, why are you inconveniencing him at like the worst point you could if it's not for that? Like, you
I
didn't
don't.
need to wait till he was on deck unless you were going to do that.
That's the thing, is like you could talk to him right after he hit. You know what I mean? Like, while he's got a lot of time in the dugout. That's a great time to talk to a guy. To be like, hey, you're trying to prep. Tell me what's going through your head as you're back in this town, full of a city full of people that are all
Full of the
pretty
city.
disappointed in you, and the fact that you couldn't stay healthy. Does that cross your mind at all? Are these people upset at you? How do you feel about all that? It's like I don't know. I thought there was 0.0% chance that he would go up there and rip a bomb right then. It's like, I don't know. You're
Yeah, I kind of did like it weirdly though. I don't know why. I usually hate in-game interviews, but it didn't bother me as much because I liked hearing him talk about like, yeah, I got kind of unlucky, but like I like where my swing's at. You know, I was hitting the ball hard, and it's about the process and all that stuff. And I always like
yeah.
to hear like players talk like that. I also thought, not to jump because I know you have a lot of other things, but Andrew Bailey, I was actually like very interested when he was talking, and I was it was the first time I've ever been like that interview got cut off by a pitching change.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in the middle of giving like very insightful answers, and then they were just like, we're not gonna bring you back. Like he was like, do you need to go to break? And he was like, yeah, when we come back, you're not gonna be part of it. Because like it was weird, but they were like, do we need to like take a second? And they were like, yeah, but we're just gonna cut you off entirely. We're not coming back with you. We've had enough of that.
Yeah, I mean, I could listen to Bailey forever. But like, did you
Yeah.
real quick, because I do have more O'Neill thoughts. But did you see the tweet? Oh God, I forget who it was. Talking about Bailey working with Kenley in the Sox clubhouse and like physically moving his hips and finding his center of balance and like release point and all that. Did you see that?
No, not at
It was
all.
very cool. I mean, it was just like a couple long tweets explaining exactly what Bailey was doing, but I could read all about it, dude. And like to see, how the sausage is made, like in that much
Well, for
detail.
him specifically, because I feel like you hear all the same stuff when pitching coaches and managers and you feel like not that you know everything, but no one's going to reinvent the wheel in baseball at this point. And it feels like he just did. And he's a guy that's like, if there's anyone we could interview, like I would want it, like or just talk to, like me, just talk to, like
Mhm.
I would want to listen to him because I feel like he actually could say something I've never thought of before or haven't heard of before, which at this point is just like, I feel like you hear the same regurgitated stuff. So that would be unique. Granted, he would say a lot of stuff that I'd be like, okay, I still feel like that's easier said than done. Like it sounds smart and everything, but like I feel like every pitching coach would say some stuff like this.
Yeah, but I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that a 36-year-old all-star Hall of Famer closer is still listening to him, coming to him, and like applying his advice, because I'm pretty sure this was like when Kenley was struggling, did this, and then
Mhm.
the back-to-back saves the next two nights. So like the fact that the guys trust him and that they're implementing what he's telling them to, and that it's working, like it just says a lot. So I mean, like if there's ever a doubt of like how much of this stuff matters and all the analytics and all that, well, look at how much the guys trust him. So like that's a pretty foolproof method to see if these changes are worthwhile. One last O'Neill thing. Um, I wasn't sure if he could still hear them during his AB. So Middlebrooks was talking about like he I don't know, was just talking about him like always getting hurt and like struggling to stay on the field. If
Ugh.
he's going through this AB with this in his ear, I'd be so pissed. I'd be bullshit. But that, and then I'm trying to wrap this up because I know you want to move on. I have a ton of thoughts on a fucking 2-minute mic'd up, but he also just said outright, like, it was time for a change. Like, I had to get out of here. I needed to change the scenery, which I think is the first time that I've heard him say that, because that was like the general consensus is like they might move O'Neill last year. He could use to change the scenery, but he just seems like a gamer, says all the right things. Although, I just want to get back out there and whatever. But this, to me, you would know better, the Cardinals guy here. Is that the first time that
Yeah.
he explicitly said, like, no, it was time. I needed to change?
The only thing that was similar is when they were asked about, did you hear about all the beef with him and Ollie Marmol at the beginning of last season?
A little bit, not much.
They basically said that like you see how hard that guy plays. Ollie Marmol like said he wasn't like running hard enough. He got
Oh,
tagged out at the
yes.
plate, and they were like you weren't like you were jogging, basically kind of similar to like the Verdugo stuff. And he actually very similar to Verdugo. He was like more like wish we could have handled that one in house. Like again, no need to go to the media and just start talking shit. So at the begin when he got traded, he did kind of acknowledge that that was a real like beef there. Like he was like he was like no, like we're good, but it was along the lines of like we're over it, but it like acknowledged that it was like that was still a thing in his head. Like he was like we talked about it, and that's where I think maybe the fresh start was. I'd never heard that he didn't like St. Louis though. I feel like it's more of a Marmol thing, if anything.
But
So
this, yeah, but that one,
was, and that's not why he was. It was most of the reason he was traded. It's assumed is just because they were going with like a youth movement. They had a bunch of young prospects, and he was kind of like not going to be part of the next wave. So, and they don't pay anybody. So,
yeah, and I mean it does make that just expiring contract and whatever. Like it made a
yeah.
bunch of sense. I remember going through it.
Yeah,
And
they
I
had to
think
move
I wrote about it. I made a
somebody.
video about it for the Cardinals site.
You
talking
did.
about why it
You
was
did.
likely that O'Neill would get moved. So it did make a bunch of sense, but it did feel like the first time that where he was like, "Yeah, no, I kind of needed it." In addition to the Marmol stuff, I forgot just how big that story was. That was national news because. And I remember agreeing with him in the moment to be like, yeah, it didn't sound like that needed to be out there, did it?
Yeah, I
He
also
really kept
don't
us in
agree
the
that he
conversation.
wasn't trying.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't seem like a guy who would. He's doing fucking somersaults.
The
Throwing the
video's
ball in.
inconspicuous. There's certainly nothing to be like you would watch that play and you would just think nothing of it. You wouldn't be like, that was weirder than a normal play. Like it
Yeah.
was just kind of a random event. It was almost like he just wanted to like pick on a guy and like start some, like get people to play hard. But I was like, don't call him out.
Yeah, like the Verdugo stuff, as much as like I, have jaded glasses to that because I was a Verdugo fan. Like in those moments, I'm like, yeah, he's not hustling, but it was, it was a ground ball to second. Like, yeah, he's not running it out, but he was out by a mile. Like, there's no point in it. But I can still acknowledge, like, yeah, he's not giving 100%. But I remember not feeling the same way about the Tyler O'Neill stuff. A hard left
Crazy. I
here.
just
What?
typed in Cardinals. I typed in Ollie Marmol, Tyler O'Neill, and third link. It's your boy.
Me? Or is it you?
No,
It's you?
not me. Of course, me. Do you
Nice.
think
Give it a
you
click.
would come up if you typed in Ollie Marmol, Tyler O'Neill? Did you cover
No.
that?
No.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, no, I didn't. So I don't know why I asked.
No. Yeah, it was just weird that you thought I meant you because you
You
didn't
also
touch
said
that.
"you boy," which was never something you would say to mean like someone else.
Yeah.
It's a pretty self-reflective phrase. Raffy Devers is a 5-game homer streak. Everybody, 5 games, homers for Scoops. Para Carita. Red Sox are 1-4 in those games, but 5 homers in 5 games. We talked a bit about Raffy's clutch gene and is he showing up in the big moments and like, the power is it going to come back and all of that. Yes and no, but yes. Raffy's the hottest hitter on the team right now in terms of power. Here is the outcome of those homers, Scott, because we talked a little bit about the Rays homer. We were like, is this the first like game tying or lead changing homer that Raffy's hit and whatever? And he only had 4 of them leading up to this 5-game stretch here. But here they are. The first one came on the 15th against the Rays. That was a 6th inning solo shot to close the gap to 4-3. On the 16th against the Rays, a 2nd inning solo shot to tie the game 1-1. On the 17th against the Cards, 3rd inning solo shot to tie the game 3-3. On the 18th against the Cards, 4th inning solo shot to tie the game 1-1. And on the 19th against the Cards, 6th inning 2-run shot to make the game 9-1. Which is kind of cool there. 3 tying shots, 3 tying homers, 4 of the 5 being solo shots, is, well,
That's
just
what the
seems to
Red
be the
Sox
Sox
do.
thing. Hmm?
Yeah. I said that's what the Red Sox do. We were saying the same thing.
Yeah, like if they're going to get homers from a guy, they got to make sure nobody's on. It's got to be early in the game. The fact that they are all tying, though, or 3 of them are tying homers, means a little bit more. I mean, they all ended up not being consequential all too much in terms of the outcome of the game, but
Yeah, but
there's
that's
just
not
more
on
juice
him.
to that than the 9-1, you know?
Yeah, no, I want him to step up when it matters at the time. Because even if you tie the game in the 4th inning, and then the pitcher after you comes in and gives up 8 runs, it's like that didn't change like his mindset and what that moment was. I've never been like, you can't rag on him because the next guy screws up, but it just felt like there was a lot more of those making the game from 8-1 to 9-1 than there were the game tying shots. And when he
Right.
was up in those spots, it was like, I don't really feel great about this because I can't think of many moments like this. That obviously is shifting a little.
And that's the thing, is like there still needs to be something that like gets us on board that, when Raffy comes up 2 on in a 1-run game in the 8th, there's got to be a switch where fans watch that AB, watch Raffy step into the box and go, "Oh, look out. Here he comes." Because
Yeah.
that's not how anybody thinks right now. It's still like, here we go. Hopefully I just keep it moving, keep them going. And like, I still haven't come to expect them in those moments, which is crazy. I'm sitting here after a 5-game homer streak being like, is he hitting them at the right times? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there needs to
You do
be.
sound like that.
I do. I'm sounding a little, well,
Yeah.
how much does it really mean, at the end of the day? I just
Sleepy
need
Joe
something that
over
makes
here.
me go like, oh, look out. Raffy's due up. And you know what he does late in games. Like the latest one of these, what is the sixth inning shot? Yeah. Like 6th, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 6th. I don't know.
Yeah, and one
I
of
don't know.
those was 8-1 and 9-1. But
Exactly.
yeah, to your point, I used to always want Verdugo to come up in those spots because I've seen him hit the walk-offs. Like that's
Thank
just
you.
seemed like, whether you believe in clutch or anything like that, it just felt like more likely that he would come through in those moments. And now I actually am starting, not to the level of like Verdugo, but Duran has had a couple moments in
Oh,
those
baby.
spots where I've been like, I actually I might trust him more than anyone. O'Neal has just been like productive, and like I don't know, when you have a run like that, I can always be like, hey, might pop one here. But just to start the season, I had that with Duvall last year, even though I shouldn't have. Where it was just like he started off, he had such a crazy like short peak run that was like he had a home run every at bat. Where it's like, well, maybe we get one of those.
I mean, this is pretty crazy. Over the course of this season, with the bases empty, Raffy is hitting 300. With men on base, he is hitting 266. With men in scoring position, he is hitting 182.
Yeah, okay, that feels like we're watching enough and we're subconsciously noticing trends. Like that's not us being dumb. Good for
Yeah,
once. Nice to get on the
there we
board.
go. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at other high leverage, low leverage situations. And he's striking out. Striking out in high leverage situations. What are you
What
gonna
else
do?
you got?
What are you gonna do? But I mean, it does feel nice to feel something and be like, is that true? I'd like to see some stats to back it up. The stats back it up. The stats back it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing that. I think it was in the Rays series. It was his first hit of the year. 2 outs, runners in scoring position. It was his first one. So
Yikes.
anything to get him going. Anything to get him going. Get him a solo shot in every 10-1 game. Until he gets going, because like you need that guy, because another guy who you had last year who gave you that was Turner. Was like also felt like, because remember Turner had that stretch where like runners in scoring position, he was hitting like 800 for like a month. It was crazy. It was like guaranteed. Like if you make it to second base and Justin Turner comes to the plate, you are scoring, and you just don't have a guy to knock him in right now.
I could be wrong, but I think Turner last year either led the league in hits with runners in scoring position or led with RBIs with like guys on second, third, or something like that. He was
Mm.
at the top of the list of people that actually did come through in those spots. And yeah, he was another one. I wasn't thinking of him for some reason, but you're right. I absolutely felt that way with Turner as well.
To your point of Jarren Duran, hitting 244 with the bases empty, 333 with men on base.
Yeah.
So
all right.
Getting it done when he needs to. I got some other
I
Jarren
know
Duran
things.
stats here for you.
I got an
Further illustrate.
observation. He's fast. Yeah, I said I got an observation.
Oh yeah, no, he is fast. He moves his legs fast.
He got to third on a pop-up.
Dude, he gets to third a lot.
That time he leads the league in getting to third, actually, on the first try.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like it's when he
the
hits
form
the
of a
ball
triple.
too. It's not even like moving from base to base. It's like he leaves home and he gets all the way to third a lot.
Often.
Triples. They call them triples.
Yeah, there's 3 bases. I didn't know if you knew the behind the scenes why.
That's why they call it a triple, because you get triple the amount of
3.
bases that a single offers.
Exactly.
Over the last 20 games,
Mhm.
Jarren Duran has 5 triples, which is a 40 triple pace.
I think he gets it.
I think he can do it. It's on the table.
We're going to have a new like 30-30, 40-40 season. It's going to be steals and triples.
I mean, he's running out of bags to steal is the thing. You know what I mean? Getting all the way to third. Is he hurting his own steals numbers by getting all these triples?
Counter argument, why isn't he stealing home more? We saw him want to do it once and then just decided not to. We know he's capable of doing it. He just said, I don't want to.
That one plays in my head a lot.
I think he came home and then he was like, holy shit, that guy's got a bat in his hand. And then he went back. That's the only thing I can think of.
We still don't have an answer. We got to talk to him. We'll ask him.
I'll call him.
What were you thinking?
What are you thinking?
You were there. So reach out and touch it.
I don't know his number. I was hoping he would say no to that.
We might get him on. We could get him on.
That's his agent's number. I've never used it.
Whose number? His agent's number? Yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea if he would answer me. I feel like he wouldn't.
I think he would. I only one way to find out. Over those last 20 games, Jarren Duran is hitting 315 with a 973 OPS.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good. Bayo and Slayton, huh? What's going on there? Slayton in game 2 went 1 inning, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 total runs. Brian Bayo gave up 3 homers in his start. I'm lumping these together because I don't want to spend too much time being negative when we've already spent a lot of the show being negative. But anything actually concerning there, or are those just stinky outings?
Slayton feels like a trend.
Yeah.
Coming back to the meat, we did say would be thrilled with a 3 ERA from him, and I believe he's a 3.38 now after that.
Yeah.
I wish he didn't cluster it so much. I mean, these but we're still we're figuring out who he is. Honestly, Bayo, I am starting to get to the point where I don't think he's going to be an ace anymore. I still think he's absolutely a big leaguer, rotation guy, a good player, even above league average player. But for me, I'm a little worried about Bayo. He has thrown 248 sinkers. If you wanted to guess the batting average against on those, what would you say?
On his sinker?
Yeah.
I don't know, like 333.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I almost feel like you had that number.
What the fuck? That's weird because I would expect, like, with the expected batting average on my head would be like 311.
You're not going to believe this, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
The expected, that's exactly right as well.
What the fuck? But I mean, that's just batting average, but like on base average, like how often guys are getting.
You had 1,000. You had 1,000 choices to pick from there, and you just nailed both of them, but twice.
And if I had to guess, like what I would expect, like a weighted on base average to be, it would probably be like 386.
That's unbelievable. It's 386.
I'm telling you, dude.
All right, one more, just because I feel like this is nuts. You're not.
Spin
There's
rate?
no way you get this. That's. I swear to God, I was gonna say spin rate. That was the first thing you actually did, just pick out of nowhere. That was all jokes aside. I was really gonna say spin rate. There was no way for you to know that, so that one was wild.
You're like sharing your screen or something. I can see everything you're doing. I don't know, dude. It's I want to say 2000, but like that feels a little high.
No. Yeah.
So
What would you
I'll
say?
go-
Not 2000, but close.
I'll go 1999.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. That is 3 for
Yes.
3. Okay, yeah. Also, only 8 strikeouts on the sinker this year. That's crazy.
He says it's his best pitch, dude. What is he talking about? Like, is that
Yeah,
what
he's
Bailey's
wrong.
telling? Like, is that? I have
He's
a hard time
never-
believing that Bailey's telling him if any kind of fastball would be his best pitch when the other two are so much better.
I mean, he's never been on Baseball Savant. I'll tell you that much.
Brian, isn't it weird? His
Yeah.
name is Brian. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, and I almost don't put that first A. The way he spells it is just to make me screw up when I'm writing. Like, that was super disrespectful by his mother to do that to us.
Brian.
2 A's, no need. Don't need them. What's that first A
Brian?
doing for you, Brian?
Bayo.
Also, I'd argue his changeup, which is a 125 batting average against.
Mhm.
It's a little bit better.
It is. It is.
But
The slider's
yeah,
good
I
too.
mean-
Slider's really good. I don't know why. I don't know why they're being used the way they're being used. He's throwing his sinker more this year than he was last year. I don't know. A lot of faith in it, but it also kind of feels like a one-trick pony pitch that, like, or well, I guess two-trick pony. It's either arm side, so like inside to righties, outside to lefties, like the outer half of the plate, or he lets it hang over, like middle down, and it gets hit. Those are like the only options for it. It's like one of two presets of like where that pitch goes.
Yeah, I mean, with those kind of pitches, they actually say like when you like a backed up cutter, something like that, like a sinker that basically becomes a two seam. Like you never attempt to throw a sinker high, right? But like sometimes you screw up and it actually makes a filthy pitch because it's like if you're looking sinker and then it does that, you're like, whoa, you just made up a pitch. I used to throw backed up cutters, which is when it goes the wrong way. So it would go outside instead of inside when you just don't throw it right. And those were some of the best swing and misses I ever got because I just made up a pitch. Couldn't do it again if I wanted to. It's objectively a bad pitch, but I think that's the thing with this sinker is like it's either, like I said, down and in, down and away, or you missed.
Yeah, I don't understand the reliance on it. I think it's a little weird. And I also think if there was any guy who was going to change his pitch usage, it would be Andrew Bailey. So I don't know why.
He did though. He got rid of the four seam. Like
He got rid of the four seam and he got rid of the cutter, but but that's all the change. Like everything else kind of stayed the same.
Yeah, but Joey, you can't. The thing with his mix is like you can't be a change up slider guy. Like that doesn't work. Like you need he needs a primary pitch that like he could make the usage rate of his slider be the highest usage, but he needs a hard ball of some kind, like a cutter or a two seamer or a sinker. Like we know.
Well, I'm not saying eliminate the sinker. I'm saying like that's what I'm saying is usage. Just like it would make sense to me if it was like slider sinker change, and even then like a pretty even distribution. Like, but I don't know. Like right now, let's see. I don't have the percentages in front of me. 39% of the time is the sinker, 34 for the changeup, 26 for the slider.
If you flip the sinker and slider usage, I guess I would be more on board with trying that. Just give it a whirl. The changeup, I mean, you can't really get much higher than 34% with the changeup unless you're Devin Williams.
Yeah, kind of defeats the purpose of a changeup to not be throwing a fastball more often than it actually.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was my episode to be like, yeah, he might not be that. Not that he's not good. I'm not overreacting, but I'm overreacting, you know?
I mean, we're on the same page in terms of this is the year where it comes together or it doesn't for me.
Right.
And I understand pitchers take a long time to develop and blah, 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 blah. But I'm over the conversation after this year. I get that he's still figuring it out and that new pitching coach and things are different and whatever. But if you're going to set expectations for him as high as you have, then they need to be met they just need to be approached. They need to look realistic.
Yeah. What I was going to say is I feel like there's always a number to make you believe again.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you're looking for a genuine, like they talk about, like a number one,
mm-hmm.
if he gave you like a 3.52 ERA this year, wouldn't you be like,
I don't think it's his ERA
he doesn't
that I
need
would
to
look
be
at.
that much better.
I don't think it would be
You're
his
just
ERA
going
that
by
I would
like
look at.
like just by like
I would look
watching
at
him.
his K per night. Like I want to see a higher strikeout number because like I want to.
I think that's I agree. That's the biggest thing for me is why I think he's limited. Like he's not the guy he was in the he's not the profile of the guy we thought he was going to be, which was like a high strikeout guy.
And also, if you're going to be a ground ball pitcher to a team with horrible infield defense, what good is that? You know what I mean? I understand that's not totally their fault. They lost two of their starting infielders. I get it.
Well,
but
they could have built up some depth.
Well, they got a ton of depth.
Well, I will say
19.
David Hamilton had the best series of his career.
Dude, people are well, dude, I don't know. David Hamilton. Sure. I have a tough time sitting here and giving David Hamilton flowers when I've been like, screaming about like, why is he still here? What is he doing here?
Mm.
Yeah, David Hamilton.
Would you like want a guy on your team with 2,143 OPS?
2,143.
Does that cut it for you?
Yeah, because that's good. Yeah. No, sorry, I had to think about it. That's high. So
that's
I would
David Hamilton. That's what David Hamilton's been over his career for the last 3 games.
That's a great point. It's a great point. You have David Hamilton's. You have his numbers over the series.
I got all of David Hamilton's numbers always. He was 4 for 7, scored 2 runs, 2 doubles, a triple, and a homer. Pretty freaking cool. All extra base hits, 3 RBIs. 11 total bases. If that's a stat that floats your boat.
I don't really care.
Okay. Cool. And then I just told you the OPS.
Total bases is just a way to add up the thing I already know. You know what I mean? It's like, well, yeah.
I do kind of feel like it's similar to OPS and a stat that people don't really. It's kind of a cool hitter stat, but it's like no one sees it, so it doesn't matter.
It's just kind of cool if you're keeping tabs for like, how much ice cream dad's going to get you after the game. You know what I mean? That's really the only,
I'm not sure I followed that one. No,
like you're getting reward. Like, you got 6 total bases. Like, damn. You get 2 scoops,
I didn't know. Is that how your dad did it? Based on scoops?
You didn't
bases.
Pops didn't get you ice cream?
It wasn't related to my total bases.
No?
Mm-mm. That feels like a weird stat to pull up.
It came up every now and again.
Interesting.
Pops would, my exit velo and my
I feel like it was more like wins. I think it was wins usually that mattered the most. I was a team player, though, and I understand that might be different for someone like Joey.
No, I cared about winning. But I mean, every day is a win when you, get on base. You can only control yourself. You can only control your own game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, unless you're like trying to take like a leadership role and try and elevate your guys.
I can't say I did. Can't say that I needed to. Locked in.
Okay.
People talk about Shohei as a leader.
Nope. Well, he can't be good for baseball because he doesn't speak English. Stephen A. Smith said that once.
Stephen A. Smith, the baseball. You talking about the baseball guy?
Yeah, he's bad for the game. Yeah.
I know him. Yeah, I remember Stephen A. Smith, the baseball guy.
Everyone always goes, if this league would be a much better place without Ohtani. The former best player in the world, Mike Trout, uses English all the time to spread the game of baseball. He talked about it He did so much for the game with not his play but his voice. He was such a spokesperson.
Oh God, do you remember when he said, that stuff?
Yeah, good point. He had good batting gloves through Nike. That's really the only thing he
Yeah,
did for me, game wise.
he did some
You
other
should watch.
stuff. I remember him.
Yeah.
God, man. I mean, I know it gets talked about a lot. This is just big surface level baseball talk.
Oh yeah.
But god damn, man, fucking get him somewhere, would you please? Would you just?
I hate that he doesn't want to go.
I know. Just somebody's got to shake him awake, and I don't know, get him somewhere. How lucky are we that we got the World Baseball Classic to turn out the way that it did? We don't talk about that enough. That was the most baseball fan fiction. It was baseball porn. Ohtani versus Trout in the final AB. Oh, come on.
That was nuts. And it was also great for like content at that part of the year. Like it just made like March a good time for baseball, which it's if you from a page view perspective, it was always the worst month. And I mean it still was because I wasn't like covering Team USA on the baseball Red Sox site, but it was just way better for the game. More people talked about baseball last March like they weren't baseball people than like the World Series or the playoffs or anything like that. That's people locked into that more than anything else.
And sorry, this season too, and this season, like the biggest baseball story this year is like vaguely accusing the best player in the game of something illegal. When he was like a victim of something illegal. That's it. I don't know. And I think it's also like there aren't a ton of surprises. The teams that are good are good. Teams that are bad are bad. There's a few like, man, this team is not, this team wasn't expected to be good, and they're kind of putting some stuff together. And there's a few like, this team was supposed to be better, but not really going their way.
Yeah, median results are always great for the game.
It's just kind of
Everyone just
as expected. If you were to simulate the season so far, it would look like this. And you would look at the computer simulation and be like, man, the A's are winning a few more games than they probably should.
Yeah.
Tigers look okay. Damn. All right. Phils are that good, huh? But that's it. That's really all you'd do. It's like, oh, the Dodgers are sick. Yeah. Braves are sick. Yeah. All right. Yankees good. The O's are good.
Oh,
Those are really good.
Soto help the Yankees?
Oh, nice.
Did he make them better?
Oh, no, Judge is off to a slow start, and fans are upset about it, but now he's hitting bombs and they're happy again. Okay.
The Red Sox have the best rotation in baseball? Yeah.
I mean, is that the biggest shock in baseball?
Probably that, or the fact that the Yankees also are having a historically good year. They have their best, I believe it's rotation ERA in like decades, and Garrett Cole hasn't thrown a baseball yet. That one was kind of surprising. A lot of weird stuff, like a lot of pitching being better than it was supposed to be. Cardinals, same thing. Those expectations were not high. They're more middling, but they were expected to be 30th. They ended up 16th. We'll take that,
There's something stupid that's about to come out of my mouth, okay? So
Shocker.
Buckle up for that. Yeah. First time on the show. So this is gonna be a little change of pace where I might say something dumb. I feel like there's like a tipping point that we're reaching with pitching, with the amount of injuries that are happening, and they're all so similar. It's all like the same ligament. As guys are, the pitch clock obviously it's not going anywhere. I don't know if that factors in or not. You got to assume it does just because of the spike in injuries, right? But also it has to do with things like RPM and the crackdown on spider tack and how good hitting is, how much better pitching has to be. Like, I feel like there's this weird tipping point where like pitching can't be this good. Like it just physically can't. And it's going to have to come back down.
Well, it's going to kill all the pitchers because, like, for example, to get better, I mean, I was just like graduating high school when this started, the velocity farms and everything really were at its peak. And as somebody that wasn't ever that good, even I got to go to these, like I went to Cressy for a summer, and then like my shoulder damn near exploded because they had me throwing weighted baseballs with a radar gun at like 17 years old. And I wasn't committing to Alabama or like that. That's why like they're gonna kill the pitchers is what they're gonna do because they're telling you the way you get recruited is you throw pitches at like when you make your video, you throw pitches to nobody. There's no art of pitching. It's just radar gun in somewhere in the frame. They want to see your delivery and how hard you throw it. Obviously, they don't care if you're throwing strike balls to do nobody at the plate. So it's like, yeah, obviously stats will come in, but the way most people get recruited, like the places that agreed to let me play baseball for them, never saw me pitch in person. They saw a video of me throwing with a radar gun, and they saw that my pitches had movement, and that was it. Then like obviously like it's a little different if you're getting a D1 scholarship. There's gonna be like more work done, but like I'm just saying that's why, and that's why I think you're right. I think they're capped because the people that are like Spencer Striders that are really starting to like hit another tier of elite are their arm is gonna blow up. Noah Syndergaard was awesome, but he was also deadlifting and so much in the offseason, lifting, and then his arm exploded. All of their arms is gonna keep exploding.
It's like this is maybe a little cynical of me, but that's part of the reason that I'm watching every Skeens start too, because it's like you just don't know how long guys are going to do that. Like if anybody's hot, it's like, well, I want to see that. Like I love pitching. I love the art of pitching, but I've come to expect everybody will get hurt. Everybody will miss a full season.
Some elbow guys, like elbow guys, like just fans of the elbow, like doctors. I don't know why I said guys instead of doctors. I've heard people be like, once you get like into the 80s, that's really not great for your elbow. It's like, oh, yeah, really? Like 80, 85, we're worried about? Like people are doing that at 16, 15, like normal. That's not even weird. Like even like Abington, Abington wasn't it. Like Massachusetts would be a better, broader example. Like there are AAU teams with full staffs that are throwing 80s. Everyone has a kid that throws 80 in like JV.
Yeah. And I mean, it takes exactly one photo of a pitch, any major league pitcher, and for you to like turn your baseball brain off and just look at it as a human, for you to recognize like the elbow doesn't bend like that. That's not the elbow. Like just try to put your arm into the position that like that's not possible. That's not how the human body works. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It's weird, and also at the same time, this is where I get stupid. But like, you have to step outside of everything you know about the game. I've been watching a little bit of cricket, right? Tons of offense in cricket. They score like 100+ runs a game. Like, there's so much offense in cricket. Like, if somebody swings and misses, it's like they're out. That's a big deal. That's like every ball should be in play. For the product of baseball, for pitchers to get better and better is not a way to grow the game. Do you know what I mean? Like, and not that that's like the main intent of baseball. Like, obviously, we're fans of the game. Like I just said, I'm going around watching just like the strikeout artist of the month because I enjoy that. But
yeah,
in terms of just a product, like obviously you want more offense. That's why they juiced the balls for a bit. That's why they juiced the players for a bit. Like you want balls in play. You want offense. That's part of the reason that all these rule changes came in. Make the bases bigger. Make the pitchers throw more often. Like, let's get it going here. I don't think that they want that either. I don't think they want pitchers to get like better and better and better. It's like it's I don't know, if you're to a casual fan, it's like I don't know who's tuning in and like real stoked about a 2-1 game every night. But anyway, I don't know. That's just some general stupid thoughts of like pitching's at a weird place where like I don't know what the next thing is. I'm interested to see like 10 years from now where the state of the game is.
Yeah, because if injuries keep going up at the rate they're going up, there's going to be nobody. Like you're gonna just plan on a 15-person rotation, and the only guys that are gonna make it are gonna be the guys that are throwing like 92.
That's the thing is like, is it unrealistic to think somebody like Skeens, who averages 100 miles per hour, like Riley Green, like or Hunter Green, Riley Green?
Riley Green's
Riley
on
Green?
the Tigers. He's an outfielder.
Yeah, Hunter Green and Paul Skeens, like guys who average 100 miles an hour on a fastball, you want them starting a game? You want them throwing 60 of those?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I hope you enjoy all 3 years of them. Like, it's just, I
I
don't
will
know if that's
say
realistic.
the only one, Skeens probably, again, more like the ligament fatigue is going to be the problem. But the one thing that makes me feel like if anybody's going to do it, like if it's possible for a human to throw at that speed and not have to get Tommy John, his delivery is very clean. It's over the top. It's pretty casual, honestly. Like he looks like he's warming up when he's throwing 101. So he's actually, in my mind, a good experiment, because if he does go down in 6 months, then it's time to have like all right, let's just not do this anymore. Like, let's not throw 101. Now, tell that to the college kid who's trying to get drafted in the second and third round is going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars different. But,
Right.
and the teams, but, that's where you get
think
there.
about it. If you think about it from like a team perspective, from like, a GM perspective, and how much emphasis the new age guys like Bloom and Breslow and whatever, all across the game, how much emphasis they put on team control and longevity and all that stuff. Is there like a mental mindset that changes? Again, this could be a fucking stupid thing, but I think it's a legitimate question. Is there a real question to velocity being too high? I hate to say that. Is there a question where guys are like, well, we like them, but we've also seen what the numbers say, in terms of like this spin rate and this velocity. Is this a worthwhile investment, or is longevity an immediate question when, certain factors like spin rate and velocity kind of all line up and all point to inevitable injury?
I would say this. I think the real thing is, it's not so much like if you have a guy that throws hard versus doesn't, you pick the guy that doesn't. But I will say, I think what could happen is a guy like Shota Amanaga, who proves that he can pitch like an ace with 91, 92. That guy, if free agency next year, might have made a lot more money than this year, because it is a safer bet. It is like a healthier risk take, especially in free agency. They might keep drafting these 100 mile per hour 21-year-olds. But in free agency, I do think, like, if you can prove, like, hey, this guy doesn't need to throw 98. We got to give him $20 million a year. I'll take the kid that's, has a better long-term outlook of stability than the guy that does look like at any pitch could explode. And most of these guys used to talk about Tommy John surgery. Now a lot of people are talking about, like, oh, well, he already had it in high school. He already had it his freshman year of college. Like, now it's like the new Tommy John surgery is having it twice. Like that. That's the new, like, holy shit. And that's common enough. Like, he's going to be able for, like, at one Tommy John surgery is like, oh, yeah, he was in the MLB, right? He played 10 years? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like it wasn't that long ago that, in talking about a pitcher, my dad would be like, oh, he's a TJ guy, right? And now it's like, you don't have to say that. Like,
everyone's a TJ
everyone's
guy.
a TJ guy. What are you talking
it's
about?
like Eovaldi. Eovaldi is the new TJ guy because he's had it like 3 times. Like that's like now you have to point it out. They've every other year gotten it. That's a great point. That's a great point about just like a casual being like, I think he's a TJ guy. Like that was popular probably 3 seasons ago. Like
and now it's a useless thing to say now. Speaking
of, you mean he's the pitcher.
Speaking of Tommy John surgery, speaking of pitcher injuries, we got some related news to that coming up right after this quick break. This really, really good ad read telling you all about an awesome deal with our good friends over at Game Time. With the NBA and NHL playoffs underway and the MLB season in full swing, there might be no better time of the year for sports. And there's no better way to experience the games than in person. And to get into the building, there's only one app that I use, and that's Game Time. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, and their lowest-priced guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. The very best part, if you ask me, is the ability to get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you even buy. You want to know what your view is going to look like before you get your tickets, and Game Time is there to help you find the perfect seat. And if it's getting close to tip-off or puck drop,
or first pitch, don't worry because Game Time's last-minute deals can save you up to 60% off when you buy last minute. Tickets are even available up to an hour after the game starts. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Garrett Whitlock got shut down.
Yep. And that feels like it could become a conversation similar to the one we just had. And he also has already had Tommy John.
Yeah.
So
He's a
fitting.
TJ guy.
He has survived like a few though, like strains that I thought were definitely going to be a Tommy John. Like he gets hurt every time he pitches. So there's been a lot of like elbow strains he's survived, where you're like, uh-oh. But yeah, no, that's not good. Not good at all.
Nope. And not to, I don't want to jump to any conclusions and whatever, but the news is that he was added back to the Worcester roster this morning, as of Sunday here. You know what I hate doing?
You tell me.
I hate searching for anything on Twitter. You search Whitlock, and you just get
a video from 2013.
You get dicks.
For no reason.
You get dicks. No matter what I search, I get dicks. I type in Whitlock, and it's some dude named Whitlock posting a picture of his peen, and it's like, brother, I'm looking for an update on Garrett Whitlock.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Joey. That's never happened to me even once.
I'm telling you. Search on desktop. Search on desktop. It's
well,
always
now I'm not going to.
anything. You can search anything.
Yeah, thanks for the warning. I'm not going to start now. What are you telling me to switch for? What are you?
I'm telling you, you got to come over here and check it out, dude. Yeah, it was 4 days ago.
He was just sore. Hopefully, he just stays sore, and that's it. That's all it is. But that never.
4 days ago, Whitlock said he feels ready physically and confident in his stuff and ready to compete in the big leagues. That is courtesy of Alex Spear. 2 days later, May 17th, suffers a setback with his elbow, delays his return to the rotation, gives Cooper Criswell more time to make up for his case to stay in the rotation. Here's the thing with Garrett Whitlock. He was never supposed to be a starter, man. He was just never supposed to be. It was never what he was supposed to be. And I understand that, like, you come up, you throw a lot of pitches. It's not brand new. They didn't make a starter out of a reliever, a guy who, from the time he was 10 years old, only ever threw a maximum of 30 pitches. I understand. But he was a reliever. And it's getting hard to remember the feeling that we had about Garrett Whitlock. Like, do you remember Rule 5 Whitlock?
Yeah, and I also talked a lot about how much more valuable. I understand total innings, but having a guy that you can call upon twice a week to give you 2 shutout innings almost guaranteed. Like, you just need to, if you get 2 leads that week, you have 2 wins that week. Yep. I think I don't know why every team doesn't try and get that out of their best reliever, like make them. I know you can't. Certain guys you just can't straight. Like certain closers are just closers. You can't just make them into 2-inning guys. But that guy was. I mean, that was the most dominant weapon, I think, in baseball in 2021. Whitlock out of the bullpen.
Oh yeah, and when they locked him up for the money at the time, it was like, oh my god, that's a steal. They fleeced him. And then it was like, and we're going to try to make him into a starter. And it's like, well, that's getting a little greedy because you already got him for $7. So
$7 a year.
$7 a year, which pretty good deal for a reliever. Very good deal for a starter. But like, also, we don't know if he's a starter. And they're like, we're going to try. And then it didn't go well. And they're like, we're going to try. And then he got hurt. And they're like, we're going to try. And then he got hurt. And they're like, we're going to try. And then they were like, finally, we can get more arms in the rotation. We're going full throttle. We don't need Garrett Whitlock in there. JK, we do need Garrett Whitlock in there. And he's hurt, but he's going to come back and he's going to be a starter. We're going to give it another try. And I'm tired of it. I'm just sick of it. I mean, I know we all are, but I think it hit me today. I just wanted to take a little second to reminisce and be like, you know what? Like he deserves a little moment where we go like, man, we felt,
Yeah, he was the best player ever for 2 years.
Yeah. And now they have him, doing this.
Yeah, Breslow kind of like soft launched Houck and Whitlock into the rotation this year. I just realized, you know that term? I know you're not a young guy, but you know the term soft launch? It's like an Instagram thing usually.
Soft launch, dude.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I just made sure. I don't know what there's a gap here, so I need to know what you know.
We talk about it at the HOA meetings. Yeah.
Right. Okay, good. So they kind of did that where they weren't like their starters this year. They were like, well, we're going to stretch them out for spring training because obviously you can go backwards, but you can't go, you can make them throw less, but not more. And then they were like, yeah, we're going to keep him stretched out because he's going to be the number 4 starter this year. So
yeah,
I think both of them, they're going to be in the rotation. So that's probably why we're going to keep him stretched out. And we're also not signing anybody.
It's also now it's like, man, like when is Whitlock coming back into the rotation? It's like, wait, hold on. Like, let's get perspective on where we are and like where we were supposed to be and whatever. But whatever. Reality is what it is. And like, we're here. It's whatever. But it's frustrating again. Like, be it a big setback or not, who knows? But it's still frustrating to just see it on paper. Just another one because it's always the same amount of time. It's always like a week and a half where things like they feel okay and they're just going along and the Sox are up and down, but no bad news. Bad news.
He also has a 1.9 ERA and looked like he was going to start to figure it out. I think a 1.96 or something like that. It looked like he was just like, if he ever is going to become the guy, like I said, like the big, my like weird take was we might not learn a lot about some of the guys we felt like this year we would know about. Like Houck. We know about Houck now. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll give it a little more time, but we feel good about it. Whitlock, we're still like, I have no idea I don't know what to do with him. I don't know what role he should be in, and I still have no idea how good he is. Like, I
think we did learn. I think we learned that we're exactly right about him. That it's like he's a question mark. He's a question mark, and he's going to get hurt
a lot.
Yep.
I found something kind of weird on
what is it?
Speaking of rotation, Crawford and Houck.
What about him?
So I started looking at like just getting frustrated by how much we're not taking advantage of this like historic run we're going on here. But then I found something very odd. Crawford and Houck both have 2.17 ERAs with 57 Ks and 58 innings pitched.
Wow. That is very weird. Tweet that. Why are you not tweeting that? Tweet that.
People don't like me.
Scott.
No.
Scott. Don't say that.
Like
don't say
stuff.
that.
Where are these people?
You got to be tweeting stuff like that. That make them like you. Make them like you, dude. Force yourself on these people and make them like you.
Whoa, that's not good advice.
Make yourself undeniable, bro. Put yourself in everyone's faces, whether they like it or not.
Okay, I feel like we're in a weird direction here. I just don't think about tweeting in my day. Like I don't. Like I found that and I was like, oh, I can talk about that in the show. And I wasn't like, oh, I got to tweet. It's just not part of my.
I'm gonna steal the tweet. I'm gonna steal the tweet.
No, I'm gonna steal the tweet for myself.
Yeah.
Are you doing it right now?
No.
Feels like you are because I see you typing right now. You're typing right now.
No, I'm not.
I want you to know. I want the people to know that when you see that tweet from Joey Copponi tomorrow, when you listen to this, I want you to put so much hate on that comment section. I want everyone to know that was me. You and Peralt, man. The amount of tweets that you've taken from me that I wasn't.
You said 2.17 ERA.
I'm not going to tell you.
All right.
He's going to Google it now.
What about Peralt? What did Peralt do?
You guys, I would say something at a game, and you've both. Just been, I'm going to tweet that right now. I think it's a good point. I'm going to tweet that right now. Where like I would, just that's a good caption. I'm going to tweet that right now. You guys start doing that to me like the second we met in person. San Diego winter weekend. I would make like a joke. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to do that. Remember the helicopter thing, San Diego? When it was like,
oh yeah, here comes Bloom. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. I don't even. Yeah, I think that was the joke. Something like that. But
yeah, coming in to save Xander or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys just ripped everything I just say in real life. You're like, I'm gonna use this on social media. I'm sick of it.
Oh God damn it!
What?
Nothing, dude. Don't even look.
I'm not gonna look. I'm gonna block you.
Oh, so you are picking up a lot from Steve, huh?
Oh no, that's not true. Oh, he muted people. He didn't block.
He mutes
people.
everybody. Now that I've taken over the ITM Twitter account, let me just tell you, if you follow ITM, you're muted. you have been muted. I'm unmuting everybody. I'm on an unmuting spree. What?
Yeah, I don't know. That I actually kind of understand because it's I do kind of understand that because like your feed you want it to be whatever it is, But they made lists now for that where you can kind of keep like a tight list.
All right, well, that's going to do it for the show. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. I hope you all have
I wasn't even
weekend.
done with my take. I wasn't even done. That wasn't even the thing. Like that was just I was telling you that the preface. I found that by accident. What I was gonna tell you is that we are 4-5 on help days and 3-7 on cutter days. 7-12 in games where cutter or help pitch. That's unbelievably bad.
That's horrible. That's horrible. That's like Jacob deGrom level bad.
12 quality starts in 19 games. Add that to your stupid fucking tweet. I hate you.
Quality starts in 19 games. These Sox are, what did you say, 7-12? Yeah. 7-12 in those starts. Absolutely crazy. There, I put my own spin on it.
You used to want me to grow my social media.
Yeah, I told you to tweet it. And did you? Or listen.
Oh, I didn't realize I had a pitch clock on me. I had 12 seconds to do it before you started typing.
There's a word for people like me, dude, and the word's opportunist. And listen, you have two choices in life. You can either grab onto somebody's coattails and ride them to the top, or you can shove everybody out of your way and climb up there yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of trying to do both.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Thanks so much for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week after this awesome series against, what did I forget?
We get a stupid pitching preview, which I don't even want to hear right now.
Oh!
No, this is just not working. The music's so much louder than you. I don't know what happened, but that was going to be so bad.
What about that? Is that too quiet?
That's good, I think. You almost just, you weren't even, you couldn't even hear you.
Let's try it again.
Okay.
Oh, okay, folks. I feel like the music's really quiet, but it is 3 games. It is.
I don't know how, when you're playing it before, it's fine, and then it's just not.
Game 1 is going to be Tanner Houck versus Taj Bradley. We saw this matchup last week in which Tanner Houck went 5 2/3, racking up 7 Ks and 1 earned run and getting the L. How fun. Tanner brought his ERA down to, you guessed it, 2.17. With that start through 9 games, Taj Bradley in that matchup went 5 innings and gave up 2 runs and earned the win because baseball is dumb. How does that stat still exist? He gave up a homer in that start to Wilger Abreu, which is just an excuse to say his name. Game 2 is is going to be Cooper Criswell versus Zach Littell. Is it Littell?
I'm a
It
writer.
doesn't matter all too much. This is also a repeat of last week's matchup. In that start, Coop only made it 3 2/3, 4 hits, 2 walks, and a homer, and 5 runs. Unfortunately for the haters, that start just did not count. Zach Littell went 5 innings, 4 earned on 7 hits, a walk, and a bomb. Sox lost. Very cool. Game 3 is going to be Brian Bayo versus TBD. Brian Bayo has given up 4 bombs in his 2 starts in May and 5 strikeouts. Those numbers should not be that similar, Scott and TBD. I'll be honest with you, Scott. I'm tired of seeing this fucking guy's name. I'm tired of seeing him pitch. I know we got a long history. I know he's got a couple of rings here. I'm over this guy. Dude sucks. And that is going to do it for your pitching preview. Now, Scott, the song is a little long. We're doing the song a little bit different. I usually do it in post. I'm trying to play the song in real time. Song is still going.
Yeah.
So
Sure is.
how much longer do you think it's got?
I feel like you would have that information. I'm going to go with, can you tell me, like, if I guess?
No.
Oh, I'm going to say 57 more seconds. Should we just kind of sit in it?
Yeah, you want to just chill?
Mm-hmm.
We do. I'm when it goes. I like
You
when it
do
does that.
Yeah, that. Did you do anything
And then
fun
this
this
is
weekend?
the part where I go, and that.
Mm. Oh, that was cool.
That's how it always ends. So
Yeah,
does that every time.
that was awesome.
Time to empty of our brains of thoughts with Joey and Scott. I got one. I only got one. Cassis with the glasses in Worcester. That's so cool. I love that. I love that he's blending in. I also love how cool he looks. I love all the memes that people have made about it. Liam Fennessy had a really good one. I've retweeted it from the ITM account. That is funny. He is so cool. I love Tristan Cassis so
You didn't
much.
just copy and paste it and try and make it your own.
I would never do that.
Mm.
Be a fucked up thing of me to do.
I would agree. Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Yeah, keep going.
Raphael, so good at defense. That was a sick diving play that would have mattered if we could have won that game. Big at the time. Also, Brian Fernandez. Did that name ring a bell to you? I don't know if they talked about it on the broadcast. I didn't really, listen.
I don't think so.
You don't know who that is?
Brian Fernandez with an F.
Ryan, with an R.
Ryan Fernandez.
He was on the Cardinals. Like, he pitched today.
Ryan Fernandez. Is he on the Cardinals? Is he a pitcher for the Cardinals?
That's what I just told you. Yep.
He
I
pitched
just
today?
said that. You just repeated what I just said.
Yeah, he used to pitch for the Red Sox.
That's what it. Yeah, he was their Rule 5 guy, and
Right.
he's got a 3.2 ERA with a 24-7 strikeout to walk ratio and 230 batting average against. It was kind of controversial that he didn't make the 40, but nobody was like, it's a reliever in the minors, so people weren't like, how much Rule 5 talk was it really at the time? But
Sure.
it would have been nice to keep him. And that's not, I'm pretty sure I had those takes ready to go in the moment. You can find those. I think I was upset at the time, as I was most of the offseason, to be fair, though. Pretty much every time something happened, I was like, I hate these guys. I hate these guys so much. Spend some money.
Do you have any other thoughts in your brain? Do you have a closing thought? Because that's different.
I do.
Oh, nice. You're getting the system down. All right, let's hear your closing thought.
Okay, so now we've kind of made like a third segment out of it. But what is it? Hinge facts? Hinge match fun facts?
Hinge match fun facts.
I made this one about baseball.
Okay.
I gave some direction this week.
Okay.
And I didn't know this.
Okay.
Do you know how to get a ground rule triple in baseball?
A ground rule triple? No.
Yeah, it's a real thing. And I don't know why they felt the need to include this rule, but if a player uses their hat to field a ground ball or fly ball, that is a ground rule triple.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm. Isn't that neat?
I feel like you should be able to use your hat.
I don't know why that wouldn't be a rule. They give you a glove. Like, that's just a more optimized hat for catching. The
A
MLB
glove in a lot of ways is just a more
yeah,
optimized hat.
for catching.
Yeah.
The actual like MLB.com rule is while the ground rule double is a common occurrence, a ground rule triple is possible as well. This occurs when a player attempts to use his hat to stop a ball on the ground or in the air. Using a hat as a penalty of 3 bases to both the batter and any runners on base. Oh my God, I didn't even know that last part. I didn't even read it through.
Wait, what was the last part?
It also applies to any runners on base, which I guess is the same as like a ground rule double. But like that means that if anyone's on, they're scoring, and then you get put on third. Well, I guess that's how that would have to work. But like, think
Right.
about that. Someone uses their hat with 2 people on. That's 2 runs and a guy on third.
I guess that makes a lot of sense why you've never seen a guy take off their hat and do it.
Yeah, I guess I've seen people throw their glove, but I guess I've never seen them throw their hat. I wonder how many MLB players don't know that, because I bet a good portion of them don't.
Let's say you're a left fielder. You're tracking a ball, right? And
Yeah.
off the jump,
Oh,
your
I
glove
know what
gets
you're
like
gonna say.
caught in your what?
Maybe I don't know what you're gonna say with this. No, keep going. I had an idea
And
of how to use this to my advantage.
well, I'm thinking of how it might realistically happen. Like you're coming off the jump, and your glove gets stuck on your belt. You're moving to your left, and your
Mhm.
glove gets stuck on your belt somehow,
Yeah,
and you're like yanking, you can't get it.
yeah.
Your cap. I feel like that should be just fine. If anything, that should be celebrated. So I'm against this rule.
What I would like to see now,
Yep.
knowing that this rule is in place,
Mhm.
if a ball is going out of the park
Mhm.
and you can get your hat on that ball,
Yeah.
low percentage shot, you
Whoa.
can get a triple here and save the home run.
Well, I feel
Now,
like if you can get your hat on it, you can get your glove on it.
no, because you can throw that. Again, low percentage play here.
Oh, you're talking about throwing your hat
I'm
straight
talking
up?
about this ball is in the 3rd row. There's no chance I'm getting this ball. Hum that thing up for a Hail Mary. If it happened one time, that would be the coolest play of all time.
Do you think they would
Imagine
still
game
rule
on
it
the
a ground
line.
rule triple?
They have to. That's the rule.
Wow.
That's the whole point of it. Is they're saying, oh, that that ball was obstructed, so we'll put you on third. Same thing as a ground rule double, where it's like, oh, well, that ball got out of play. That shouldn't have gone there, so we're gonna say that's a double. If you throw your hat at it, they're saying, well, it didn't go out, but it should have been something, so we're gonna give you a triple.
I don't know if the hat has enough mass to stop a would-be
Ball.
homer.
That's a great point. That's a great point. It would. You're right. Maybe a
You'd
weighted
have
hat.
to. There's a way to do it. I'm picturing it.
Mhm.
Right
The
field
thing
Fenway
is,
would be
you
kind of a
could do it.
great place for it.
You could do it, but you couldn't do it against the wall because, like you said, the velo would carry it. You would actually have to get it at like 10
You'd have
feet
to stand
before.
at the
Because
wall and kind of 45
yeah,
degree it
you,
up
you,
forward.
you're basically just like shooting it down, but it's not going to go straight down. It's just going to die.
Mhm.
So you got to just make it die. That would be very hard, but I'd like to see it.
Listen, I think I know what I'm going to be working on this week. I'm going to be a defensive specialist. I'm making it in the bigs. I'm telling you, I still got time, just for this one move.
I'm
Imagine
glad
being
I
the
can
guy
help.
who did that.
Ugh, it'd
Ugh.
go viral for a day and then we forget about it.
Yep. Damn
But
right.
then on all these, Millikins and stuff would on this day, last year and the year before that,
Yeah.
all these aggregators would use it every day, every year. You'd have one
Yeah,
day a
Boston
year. Like
Strong would go nuts with it once a year.
it'd be like a Dallas Braden perfect game. Like he has that one day every year.
Yeah.
But what he did was actually like a little bit. I don't know which one's more impressive, to be honest with you.
I mean, you only get one shot at the hat ball.
Yeah.
Well,
So
thank
yeah,
you for that. Hinge match fun
really
fact.
cool. Mhm.
Thank you for that.
Don't thank me.
Thank you, Melissa, or whoever you are.
Not her name.
Well, could be. You never know.
Go for
Well, thank
one.
you guys so much for listening. Follow us at the socials at ITM_pod. You can follow me at Joey Copponi. You can follow him at Scott Neville 46. It's Jacoby Ellsbury's number.
What's the point of following me when you can just follow Joey? Because everything I think of, he'll just take.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't follow Scott because he doesn't tweet the things that are on his mind. He just tells me, and I tweet him. Did you see that there was a fight at the NASCAR game tonight? NASCAR game?
You want to run that one back and tell me what happened?
In the winner's circle, the drivers threw hands, dude, threw real fisticuffs.
Oh, I used to have to cover the NASCAR for Nesson, and I always posted and was like, I have no idea if that was like I wanted like a real NASCAR person to read and be like, was that even close? Like I mean,
I'm posting Celtics articles every day, and I'm like,
yeah,
God, I hope people feel like this take makes sense.
Ugh. Wait, you're posting articles
every day? Google me. I come up as an author.
Do you really?
I do. I got a new Google tag recently that says Joey Copponi author. Yeah.
Is it Joseph? Or Joey?
Joey. Yeah, Joey.
Is Joseph still the film guy or no?
Joe.
Oh my God, this is a picture. This is like a picture of your Sports Illustrated picture is of you. But like you can see Steve's shoulder because I know exactly what picture this is. It's just a picture of you cropped it with him cropped out. That's very funny.
Yeah, at Dodger Stadium, yeah. 22 All-Star game.
Well, glad I could help.
Yeah, I love being an author at SI. And it's CLNS.
Just like me, one and the same.
And I love the sponsors who make this show possible. Thank you to Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network, and to Game Time, the best place to buy tickets, sports concerts, all your favorite events online. Get in the door with Game Time. $20 off your first purchase when you create an account. Terms apply. We'll see you guys after a couple games at the Trop. For Scott Neville, 46. I'm Joey Copponi. Go Sox.